What's up, YouTube? We got a yo-yo review to do today. Today, we are going to be taking a look at the brand new Circle City Muse. Let's get into it. Circle City Muse. This was sent to me by the good people over at Circle City. And I didn't know what to expect. A lot of people have told me about this yo-yo beforehand, like right when it came out. Like a bunch of people were like, dude, you gotta check out the Circle City Muse. You gotta check out the Circle City Muse. And then like a day or so later, they contacted me and were like, hey, do you want to check out the Muse? I'm like, yeah, I've been told to. So let's make that happen. So this is the Circle City Yo-Yos Muse. Let's get into the specs first. It is a 6061 aluminum body, center track, C-bearing, 19mm silicone pads, 57mm diameter, 44mm wide, and it weighs in at 65 grams, which is pretty much right in that sweet spot for a monometal. I really like the H-ness of it. It's kind of it's sort of Spy, S-P-Y-Y, Spy influenced with the spikes there. The spikes I like, both aesthetically and as far as using them is concerned. They really do Matador stuff pretty well. I'm not great at Matador stuff, but I like them. They're very sharp. These are very sharp spikes. You can seriously spike yourself with the spikes, but that's okay. You're not gonna hurt yourself with it. You know that they're there. Kind of reminds me of the Cyborg 2.0, at least in shape. As you can see, they're kind of close. Cyborg's got a lot more cuts and stuff, but very sort of, this was sort of a turning point collaborative design with Yo-Yo Factory. This sort of has a very turning point vibe to me, except it's a lot lighter. I feel like turning point yo-yos end up being kind of heavy, heavy on the string, pretty much everyone I ever play with. This one, however, is very nice and light and nimble on the string, sort of a turning point yo-yo, but also kind of like what a more powerful kind of average weighted kind of yo-yo like this would be, but it's more powerful. Look at the size of these rims here. I mean, these are like some seriously beefy rims here. 65 grams. It's for a yo-yo release in general, it's a great yo-yo. For a first release, it really has that like very professional design element to it. Like there's no like sort of tiny little flaws or anything like that. It's very much like everything's rounded over nice, and all of the attention to detail was paid. The response is good, and it's just good. It's really, really good. But let's go ahead, chuck it around a little bit. I'll show you guys what it can do on the string. Guys, we are back with the Circle City Muse. And seriously, the first thing that I noticed was that first impressions was that it's awesome. Very, very powerful. Kind of gives you that, you get that full H effect of the yo-yo. Tons of power, tons of stability, lots of rim weight, but it's nice and light and nimble too. Kind of like, sort of like if the float was heavier, it kind of performs like that. Like honestly, it's kind of like a heavier, like a more average weighted float. Which is great. I love the float. I love this. Seriously a good yo-yo. Great for everything. I love the bead blast. 10 out of 10. Perfection bead blast. Just like grinds for days. Very controllable. Response is nice too. Not snaggy or anything. And regens very nicely as well. Comes off of the string very nicely. Comes right off. And the response isn't grabby either, so like, you can really kind of get your like wrap tricks in there. No issues. Rejects very nice. It's It's a little on the narrow side, so it's not as like super wide as a lot of like competition yo-yos are today, but it's not bad like in any sense of the imagination. It's a little more narrow than more average competition throws would be, but it's 65 grams and just, I mean, man, I mean, this would serve you really well in competition. Spins a long time and is very stable. I feel like those are kind of the two key things for competition, and it's comfortable to throw and it's fun to throw. So, you know, it's really kind of the best of everything. Not really the greatest finger spin yo-yo with that spike in there, but you can do matador tricks, and there's enough room around the spike that you can kind of get some spins around the spike. No problem. Sound like Dylan Kowalski. No problem. I'm just kidding. I love Dylan. I love you, Dylan. And the, I suck at matador tricks, but the spike is long. Thumb grinds, very easy. I can't say enough good things about it. It was like, I got it and I didn't know what to expect when I first threw it, and I threw it and I'm like, this looks pretty freaking good. And then I kept playing with it and I'm like, I keep liking it more. So first impression was great, and then I sort of like fell more in love with it, which is the way, you don't want to like, I don't know, I feel like some yo-yos you have to sort of like learn to love them, but other yo-yos like this was just like right out of the box. It's like on first throw, first impression was like, I really like this. It just did all the things I wanted it to do. And that, to me, it's a great release, period. Also, the smoothness is 10 out of 10, unflinching goodness. Like, nothing. No hint of vibe, no fingernail vibe, nothing. So, love it. Really, really, just a nice design, fun yo-yo, stable, powerful, long spinning, handles whatever you want to throw at it. Great monometal. Just great. Let's go ahead, I'll stick it on the desk. We will take it apart and show you guys the insides, and we'll do pros and cons. All right, we are back on the desk with Circle City YoYos Muse. So, this came with a lifeline string. I put a zipline on it because that just, I feel like that evens the review out. If I'm always using a zipline, it's like, well, nobody gets any benefits over anybody else because I got a zipline on everything. So, let's take it apart. I've already taken it apart a couple times. Comes apart very nicely. It was machined very well. I don't know who machined it, but it was done very well. Came apart nicely. No weird cross-threading or anything like that. Actually unscrewed nice. I'll show you how it screws back together pretty well, too. Get the string off there. Axle's pretty long, which is nice. Really, no danger of stripping this whatsoever. Nice long axle. This yo-yo is going to be very durable and last you a very long time. Great response pads to the clear silicone, the like smoky silicone response pads. Great response. No problems whatsoever with the response. Snappy, not snaggy. Perfect. Nice, quiet, smooth spinning bearing. Shiny. Stainless steel. Center track. No complaints. It's great. Wouldn't change it. Wouldn't do anything to change it. It's been good. Goes back together very nice. No threat of stripping whatsoever. Just real good. Oh, let's take it apart again. Let's show you the little step here. I was really impressed with this step. So look, if you look at it, it's very like it's rounded over and it kind of sticks out a little bit. It kind of gives almost a little bit of a wall there, but not really. I think that really helped the regens. And kind of my regens have been very like, it's a stable yo-yo overall, but regens with that little bit of extra wall there I think really kind of help that and really help them be very smooth regens and very controlled and controllable. So I mean, really this yo-yo kind of blends a lot of cool old school things while still being very modern and very like performance driven and performing up to the standards of a 2018 release while having a lot of that charm that, you know, maybe a yo-yo from 2008 or 2009 would have. It really kind of hits that best of both worlds in that regard with the design. So it was really nicely designed and a lot of thought went into it, and I appreciate that. Pretty simple shape there, just kind of a nice, everything's rounded over H shape with that little step in there. That step is very modern, however still feeling very sort of nostalgic, I guess, with a little bit of the sort of faux wall in there that it creates, which is cool. I like the spike aesthetically. I think it looks good. I think it's going to perform well for you if you enjoy Matador tricks. Off camera, I was able to get some spike spins, but that's not a thing that I'm going to try to do. I wasn't doing it consistently enough to try to do it on camera. But you got enough room for finger spins in there as well. So, you know, it's going to finger spin well. It's going to thumb grind well. It grinds well just in general. The finish is great. It's great for tricks. It's stable. It's long spinning. Let's do pros and cons. Pros, all that stuff I just said. Stable, long spinning, great blast finish. You know, good for finger spins, good for grinds. Just, you get everything out of it. It's designed really well. There's really no threat of it stripping or anything like that. It's got a nice long axle. And it's different, too. You don't see a lot of yo-yos come out in 2018 with a big spike like that. Some G-squared yo-yos have some little tiny spikes in there, but this is all out. This is an all-out spike. All-out spikiness for this one. And it's sharp. So, they didn't pull any punches with that. Big, sharp spike in there. I like it. I'm a fan. I'm just going to say. That might be a con for some people. You may be put off by the spike. It could be polarizing. I'm not sure. I like it. So, it's not a con to me. But, anyway. I mean, really, it just does everything well. You know, I would say the only con maybe is if you're looking for, like, a wider yo-yo. It's not as wide as some of the other releases. I feel like wider is becoming more the thing. And I like wide yo-yos as well, but it's nice to have some variation every now and then as well, and I think this is just done so well. I think everything about this is good. Like I said, it's sort of maybe a little bit of a heavier, more powerful float kind of feel to it. I think if you really liked the float, but you're like, man, if only the float was a little bit heavier and had a little more oomph, you'll like this too, as sort of a contrast to the super light, nimble float. This is still nimble, and it's still on the light side at 65 grams, but it's more powerful. And it's got a little more stability. It's got a little more. It's a little more forgiving. I feel like the float's very forgiving, very good, and all that. But it's very much sort of meant for like players like Andrew Bergen to be able to like maneuver it through their very difficult tricks a little better. This is a little more powerful, a little more longer spinning, a little more stable, a little more room for user error. To you know, get through your tricks and stuff because of the power and the stability and all that. So really cool in that regard. Comes in some cool colors too. Nice. There's pink and like a magenta and a blue, and just, I mean, it's a good yo-yo. It's a good yo-yo and some good colors. Comes in a cool box as well. The gold box is very cool. Came in a bag. Saw the bag. Posted this on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, there's a link in the description. You could do that. It came in a bag. I like the gold box. I like the bag. Came with a sticker too. Here's the sticker. Circle City YoYos Muse. I've got a sticker as well. It's on one of the cases up there. No, cases are down there now because I moved the cases. But anyway, comes with this sticker as well. So I got a sticker. It's on my case now, which is beautiful. I really have nothing bad to say about it. This is a great yo-yo. It's 65 bucks. You can't go wrong. I mean, that's really where the boutique yo-yos are priced, especially the monometals. And this is good in every aspect of a good yo-yo. So it's a good yo-yo. It's worth It's worth your money. It's worth your time. It's worth your checking out. There are links down in the description. You're going to want to pick one of these up while they're around. The run was only 100. I know I've seen quite a few around, so I'm not sure how many are left, but you're going to want to pick one of these up because they're phenomenal. I think there's only 3 colorways left that I can see on the website. I'm not sure if there were more overall, but you're going to want to pick one of these up because these are cool. 65 bucks. $65 well spent. Check out the links down in the description. That's going to do it for me today, though, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Cheers to you. I'll see you next time.